let's get to work. All right, so what we're gonna do is start off with the idea stage. All right, and the reason why, honestly, another reason why I'm doing this live stream is I hear a lot of people who, excuse me, are like vibe coding these days and building these apps and one-off tools, and that's great. You know, it's a lot of fun, but there's definitely a gap between that and having something that people will actually pay for and will use. So what I want to go through today is showing you just sort of my thinking process of how I go from idea to a working version of an application to a business model that supports it. So I actually don't like to start with the apps. I like to start with what problem are we solving. So let me pull up my agenda here. Okay. We'll get the music back on. Mm-mm. Like, okay, I can't hear the music. So that's a good fumble already. It's like, okay, where is the music? And how do I share my audio? Okay, so that's already good to know. I mean, I was hoping to put on some of this little lo-fi music here. I'll have to just use like the built-in version. Okay. Gotta get the vibes going first. All right, cool. So let's see. We got the lo-fi vibes. All right. And now I'm like, what's this daydream on? Okay, let's rock with that. Okay, so we daydreaming. All right, let's go from step one, which is where do we start? What do we actually build? So, what idea is worth building? So, let's get into it. So, we'll start with the Miro board. Okay. So there's a couple of different ways you can approach this. So the first, a lot of people like to either start with a problem that they're seeing, or they like to start with a solution. Actually, let me back up. Typically, most people start with the solution. They start with the thing that they're building because they have an idea of something that they want to bring to life. Okay, I have this idea for this app. And then they'll go and, especially nowadays, it's pretty easy to go and create the app. Okay. I think what would really help is if I put my almost like I can kind of have my teleprompter. It's like I don't really need a script, but I do want just the blocks of time so that I can see where we're at, starting from here. So cut the first 15 minutes, redo the intro, and then what we'll do is we'll start with the framing of the problem. We'll start with the Miro board, and I'll just share. That didn't work. Oh wait, there it is. I gotta add it to the stage. Bam. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I need to figure this out real quick. I don't really want that. Okay, I can rock with that. Let me see, can I do a new layout? Okay, we're not gonna get into all that. We're gonna keep it simple. And like, do I need the logo? Can I like remove that from the stage? Oh no. Add that to the stage. I'm like, I can't tell if this is easy to see or not. Okay. Okay, that's cool. I can see it from my own thing. All right, cool. All right, so I like to start with the Miro board. And oh, okay, yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought earlier. So what I was gonna say was one of the reasons I'm like wanting to do this is because I hate seeing these videos of how they be like, all right, I just launched I launched my app to $20 million in ARR, but they don't show you none of the steps in between, none of the like, how do you actually create the thing, what decisions do you actually have to make, what trade-offs are there. They don't show you like none of that in between stuff. And I think that's like, to me, where the building actually occurs. It's like that is the part that people need to see. So I'm getting up here on the live stream to practice just using the live streaming software, but more importantly to show the messy in between bits, the parts that people just want to skip right over. It's like, oh yeah, I just built this app and now it's I'm making an extra 5K a month, and it's like, all right, well, how did you do that? Like, help me make sense of that. So let's go. We'll do this. The reason I pulled up a template called the business model canvas. There's all different, a bunch of different versions of this out there, but what I like to do is start with the customer or the problem. I'm like, and as a matter of fact, I don't like this template. So let's get another template. I'm like, oh, what? I like Miro. It's like really okay. Yeah, this is straight. So we'll try this one. Get out of here. Okay. So The reason I like to start here as opposed to jumping directly into the Lovable app or, however whatever tool you want to use to create it is it helps you to understand exactly what it is you're building so you can see where you're trying you can see exactly where you're trying to go so you can then figure out how to help the people who are actually going to be using this thing to get there. So I like to start with the business model canvas because it forces us to articulate a few things that I think are critical before you actually start building anything or even think about start building anything. Like I was starting to mention earlier, a lot of people either start with the problem or a solution. I personally like to start with the problem and then work my way towards the solution. But if you have an idea for something and you're like, oh no, this is the solution, and then you need to kind of work backwards to find the problem, that happens too. And there's some ways to go about doing that. But I like to start with the problem because if you understand the problem well, you've already solved half of it. So what problem do I see? Who has that problem? Why is it important to solve? Being able to articulate those things will make everything downstream a lot easier when it gets to the actual planning and building process. So, all right, if you're probably watching this, actually, I just realized you might be watching this and being like, all right, well, I don't even know what problems there are or where to start. That's okay. That's okay. I've been there too. What I like to do is try to put a time limit on this, and so you'll actually see me do this here in a second. I'm gonna put a time limit of like 3 minutes, and I'll just brain dump as many things that just irritate me. And in this case, like, I already have some ideas to kind of help to speed this process along for folks, but there are some guardrails you can use to make that ideation process a little bit easier. Most products typically fall in the health or wellness space or, an education space. So you can kind of think about these different buckets and think about problems within those different areas that are important for you, that stand out to you. So I'll do something around the education. I'm really passionate about education. And one problem that I'm seeing is that it is really, really challenging to get these students into classes in Minneapolis. So I'm going to think about how exactly could I help solve that problem. So the problem is students are not attending class. When they do attend class, they're distracted. This results in poor distraction or poor focus, leads to lower grades. And then the cycle, they don't feel motivated. The cycle kind of repeats. But they're not the only person having that problem. You got the teachers. The teachers, right, are, they're like dealing with challenges of trying to manage that in this modern age. So you got the teachers need to. And also the interesting thing about it is they have to use these like tools and softwares, these iPads and things like that to this was not the problem actually that I was thinking of. So I'm glad we're just gonna kind of do this on the fly. All right, and I didn't set the timer, bro. Okay. So I'm gonna set a little timer. I'm gonna give myself 3 minutes. I'm like, yeah. All right. What do you call it? The folks who are like the guidance counselors and the coaches, like the, how would I categorize those folks? I'll just say like support staff, coaches, but counselors, and teachers. Here, there's kind of like a broken loop or a broken because you have like you have these 3 different. You have the parents, you have the students, right, and then you have all of the support staff, the educational staff, right, the teachers, the coaches. But obviously, your teachers is your main point of contact for them. But the support staff, I think, is interesting because that's another major area where there's like a lot of disconnect, right? So I'm thinking like if parents, if the kid is struggling with something, and that even if the parent does talk to the teacher, or if the parent is aware, and then they're able to talk to the teacher, maybe that teacher doesn't get to talk to their basketball coach about it, a problem that they're experiencing, and like having these little. So yeah, okay. So support staff. Okay. Yeah, see, that's why the timer's helpful. The timer's helpful because any longer and you just end up spinning your wheels. I'm like, you just need to like have enough of a direction to know how you want to continue to move forward. So in this case, I'm not trying to be the expert on the educational space. That's not my lane. I'm just trying to understand what are the core problem. What is the problem? Why does it matter? And this was what I was able to come up with in under that few minutes. Students are not attending class. When they do, they're distracted. Poor grades, or poor focus leads to poor grades. The teachers struggle to get the parents involved. The parents struggle to support their students at these different phases, and there's this disconnect between the parents, the teachers, and the support staff. It's a massive problem. So now here's how I think about how to come up with the solution. So this could be, and the reason you see, this is why I like this, because this could become anything just off of the problems that I'm showing here. Like this could become anything. Do I need to build the next Coursera? Probably not, but right, I mean, gives you an idea of just the endless possibilities. And so now we want to start to open up those possibilities and figure out, what can this be? What should we build? Now that I've gotten a clear idea of the problem I'm solving, what's worth building? So I am going to specifically focus on the problem of students being distracted when they attend class, and how this distraction leads to poor grades. So that's my core problem. I'm gonna just so that's kind of my problem statement-ish. Hey, that's far. So that's the problem that I want to solve. So the problem that I specifically want to solve is students are often distracted during class, leading to poor grades and outcomes. So what is a proposed solution? So now we'll open it up to some brainstorming. So I'll spend the next, 5 or 7 minutes or so kind of brainstorming potential solutions, proposed solutions. Okay, so what I'm doing is actually just taking a look and saying, okay, what are some of the existing solutions out there that help students to stay focused? And literally, I'm gonna just type this right in Google real quick, or into ChatGPT. So let's do that. All right, what solutions exist? What solutions currently exist to help students stay focused during class? Okay. So as I start to work that, I'm doing so they already kind of have some of those things maybe built into their classroom education apps. They use things like Kahoot. Okay. Yeah, okay. So yeah, Pomodoro techniques. Yeah. Classroom tech with emerging evidence. Wearable attention trackers. Not widely adopted, of course. I can imagine. Folks probably don't want to sign their kid up to wear experimental trackers. Can already spot an issue with that one. AI note assistance. Okay. Okay, there's some support for neurodiverse learners, fidget tools, visual timers, and cue cards. Okay. I have a visual timer myself. Excuse me. Jeez. Okay, so I'm like, I need a list of products that range from analog, because what I'm seeing is all of these solutions just go from obviously very analog to digital. So I just give me a list of products that range from analog to digital. We'll have ChatGPT do a little bit of this searching for us. How much more time we got left on the clock? 3 minutes and 30 seconds. That'll work. So this is a great part because it also exposes what are some of the alternative solutions that people are already using out there. And you absolutely need to understand this before you get into building anything. I see a lot of folks just, oh, I'll just build a little one-off tool, and I get it because you can these days. Doesn't mean necessarily that you should. So, you think about the alternatives, because if somebody is already using a product or service, it's gonna be really difficult for them to want to like pull away and go try something new. Okay, so here's a range of products that help students stay focused, ordered from analog to digital apps. Okay. I'll bet. And you know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop this joint in Miro. Where's the little sidekick? Thought it was right there. Oh, it just took a little minute to load. That's all. So I'm like, yeah, a little cheat cut. Let's shortcut. Let's just have you see, I just dropped that drink from ChatGPT directly into here, and I'm gonna let it do its thing. Hang on, this might take a minute. All right. I'm gonna turn the cam off for 1 sec. Okay. All right, cool. Thanks. Yeah, we'll add that. Why not? Totally in the wrong section, but I'll take it. All right, so I mean, look. Reading focus cards, student focus card. This is what they mean when they say AI slot. Like, what? I just needed the... Hold up, fam. Okay. All right, I only got 20 seconds. All right, well, let's see. Time management prompt cards, productivity worksheets, study focus trackers, reading focus cards. All right, we'll add a little 2 minutes on there. All right, let's see. Next move focus card. And this is good because I'm like, all right, let's say I wanted to just jump into Lovable and create an app that's like, hey, save students time. Ah, damn. Okay. Okay. So I think the proposed solution that I'm going to go with for the sake of time is going to be um, an application that comes with looking at these prices of these things too. I mean, they got everything from stickers to full applications. So, all right, we're right at 40 minutes. So let's take a quick break. I'll be right back. Let's give us 5 minutes. I'll be right back. 3 or 4 minutes. All right, we're back. And let's stop this little music for a minute because I need to have some silence to think. Okay. So, where I left off was we started with the problem. We talked about which problem we wanted to solve. And in this case, for me, it was helping students to stay engaged during class. I looked at some proposed solutions, everything from analog to digital, and realized that my potential solution is going to be something simple that allows the students to check in. It's going to be social and and gamified for them. Not which don't necessarily know. I'm gonna jump straight into gamification, but in education, gamification does work well. So let's get into Lovable. So actually, man, what we'll do is we'll come back to these other sections later when we start talking about how to turn this from a application to a business. But right now we'll focus on going from idea to application. So I had this idea, we kind of walked through it a little bit. And now I want to figure out how do I start building an actual application. All right. What I like to start with is a high level, sort of journey map or flow of um, the experience that the customer or the user is going to go through. So in this case, I'm going to have students who are going to be the main users. The teachers are going to be admin on the administrative side. And so I will do this. I will say, I'll map this out a little bit. All right. So I'm going to start with some text. And we can, and I'm intentionally keeping this really simple because I understand that if you're tuning in and watching this, you're probably not a designer. And if you are a designer, you know, there's always different ways of seeing and approaching things. So I'm gonna start with a simple text flow path of I'm like what I'm realizing I probably could have done when I set this up, the stream up. All right, what I'm feeling right now is a little bit of the like, oh my gosh, okay, this is a little overwhelming. It's a lot to manage. The streaming software, trying to think out loud, trying to follow. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a lot. So I'm like feeling a little uncomfortable. I'm not gonna even hold you. Um, yeah, but this was the process. This was why I did this, so that we can figure out where it feels awkward and what feels like it's too much, where I can make things simplified. And the first thing that I'm realizing is one, I need to make sure my family is having plans of their own. Um, all right. The second thing I'm realizing is it would have been really helpful to not try to come up with an idea on the spot, to just go through my previous idea. That would have saved a lot of time. So instead of it being about how to create ideas or come up with ideas, it's more about just like how to evaluate your idea. So when I do this again, I'll do that and I will. Hey, you know what? I had two people on here for a second. I thought one of them was me, but you know what? I guess not. We did have two people up here for all of, 5 seconds, but they was in here, bro. Okay. I've reached the part of the process where it feels uncomfortable. It's like you have something, but it's not quite there yet. And this is what I find to be the most frustrating part of the process. But here's how I work through it. Before I just push through it, the first thing I like to do is just sit with it for a minute. So you're just gonna watch me sit here and like sit with this uncomfortable feeling for a minute because that's just what I'm feeling. I'm feeling super uncomfortable. Yeah, no one talks about this part of the process. You hear lots of the highs, you don't hear a lot of the lows and the self moments of self-doubt, and, you have to learn how to work through that because that stuff doesn't go away. It's like, I've been building products now for 5 years, and it doesn't matter that I've built 5 products or 500 products, you're gonna hit that point in the process every single time, I guarantee you, so you gotta figure out what works for you and how to get through it. I know what doesn't work for me is, like, just pushing through it and ignoring what it is that I'm feeling, because 'cause I'm feeling this and I'm feeling it for some reason, and I just gotta, like, experience it. This is a part of the growth. It's part of the process. Okay. I'm not gonna abandon the emotion. I'm not going to abandon the moment. I'll just sit here another minute, um, until it feels safe to move forward. It's like I should have known that this was it gonna happen because this is the process, and I really thought I was gonna get up here and walk you through the next 90 minutes smooth, no hiccups, and I haven't even got to actually building yet. We we are just still on the concept phase. Okay, so where do I go from here? Oh, all right. I've decided to keep going. So I moved over to Lovable. Um, you're gonna see me kind of do a little bit of back and forth, because what I wanted to tell you was before you get into Lovable, like have this like flow chart and have like a couple sketches and things like this done, and that stuff is all like really great, and it does help to get you from something rough to something a little bit more polished. But when you're initially starting out, I think that's where these tools are most helpful is helping you to come up with that initial, what could this be? So instead of describing what the solution is, I'm going to describe what the solution needs to do. So notice I'm not saying create an app. I'm saying I want to create a simple and engaging check-in process for students who are attending class. Don't judge me on my grammar, y'all. Um, it needs to um, yeah, I don't need that part at all. Engage. All right, so it needs to keep the student, and I'm gonna give it some guardrails. So it needs to keep the students engaged during class without being too distracting or without like, all right, so it needs to keep the students engaged throughout the class within a fixed timeline, i.e., the students should not be um, on their phone the entire time. That defeats the whole purpose. That defeats the purpose. All right. Not a fixed, but a limited time. With time limits. All right, let's see what this thing does. I don't know what it's gonna spit out, but yeah, we want to create a check-in process. And so what I'll do is I'm gonna kind of do a little back and forth here. I'll play with it, kind of see what it creates. Then I might kind of pull back, zoom back out, map out things a little bit more, and then come back in here. And so we'll kind of do that kind of back and forth. I think that's helpful to see. So it says I'll create an engaging student check-in system with time-limited interactions, drawing inspirations from Duolingo's encouraging UI and Kahoot's energy. See, that's exactly what I was thinking, right? The Duolingo, Kahoot energy, playful animations, prominent countdown timers. All right. Let's see what it creates. I mean, let's get some music back in here. Oh man, I forgot that joint don't work. So that's another. I gotta figure that out, bro. I'm like, why did you go full screen? All right. I'm gonna look at my own stream. I want to see what it looks like to watch. All right, I'm gonna just let this play, or yeah, do its thing while it builds, and I'll be right back. I want to watch my own stream for a second. Oh wait, never mind, it's done. All right, so they built Class Pulse, a student check-in system with a 60-second time limit. Quick name entry to start the timer. Mood check with emoji buttons. Okay, I wasn't see. It went too far. I wasn't thinking a mood check. Understanding scale. Countdown timer. Okay. So let's see. My name is Corian. Quick check in. Enter your name to get started. You have 60 seconds to complete. Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I could use this for my own DBT app, my own mental health app. Seriously, I got a little check-in process in my mental health app, and now I'm about to steal this because this joint is fire. Oh, snap. It gave you a little time limit. So, okay. I mean, as you can tell, I was not actually thinking a mood check-in for something like this, but it opens the door. I'm like, okay, that is interesting. Maybe we can capture some sentiment about the students and how they're like feeling mentally, emotionally throughout the class. Okay, so let me try on fire. How well do you understand today's topic? But I'm not trying to create a tally type, product. Okay, you're all set. Oh, okay, that's clean. Hey, that's clean. All right, check in again. And then they can check in as many times. Okay, you know what? That's not bad. That's not bad. So, all right. So, what I would actually do now that I've kind of seen what it was able to create, I would zoom back out and map out what it needs to include. So, the student's not going to need to enter their name every time. Um, they don't necessarily need to do a mood check in, but the understanding skill is absolutely interesting. Hey, you know what? Yeah, let's just kind of riff here for a second. All right. I'm already at an hour and a half, or hour and a little over an hour. So, how well do you understand today's topic? Be honest, it helps your instructor. Okay. Okay, perfect. So now where my head is going next is like the exact use case. I'm trying to imagine the exact moment a student would need to pull out their phone and then use this. But then again, I'm not trying to create a Kahoot because I'm like, again, I know Kahoot does all these things already really well. So what's got to be different about this is not how it works, but the problem that it solves. Oh, see, time's up. Oh, that was great. I got to see what it looks like when time ran out. That's your instructor if you need to check in late. Okay. All right. So not bad at all. I'm like, honestly, for a first shot, that is pretty solid. Um, I mean, these UIs are just getting better and better. So Okay. So where I'm at next is thinking through what this core use case is going to be. And when I say core use case, I mean what is the one problem that this thing needs to solve and solve really well. The whole point of it was to keep students engaged throughout class. And it needs to be different than Kahoot. And let's look at Kahoots and see what they look like. Learning games make learning awesome. See, I'm already looking at their positioning, like trusted by leading companies. I'm like, dang, Kahoot has a lot. Hmm. But it's not really solving the problem that I see. Because I'm like, this is great for engaging the students, for getting the students to engage. But how do you keep them engaged throughout class? Let's look at these quizzes. I want to see. I'm like, I'm not trying to do a quiz type thing. Yeah, see this? I'm not trying to create this. I like this little swipe interaction. Drag tiles to arrange them in color. Cool. Yeah, see, this is good for getting them to engage, um, especially around the topic, right? And what I'm trying to essentially measure is how. Let's see. Wow, look at these. Okay, all right. I like those little patterns. Sorry, I'm not really trying to submit the answers. Um, cool. Okay. So now let's go back to my. Your browser has lost connection to screen share audio. Just try. Oh. Hmm. Okay, cool. I'm glad I did this. This was great practice. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish up the live stream. I think I've got enough practice in. I got to see exactly where I fumbled. Um, I got the practice transitioning between the scenes. I did the countdown timer. Oh, I didn't practice any of the overlays. Oh, yeah, welcome in, welcome in. If you're just joining, yada, 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 come on in. All right, hey, I got a Q&A. And where am I hearing this music from? I don't know. Okay, excuse me. All right. All right, this was great, great exercise. I'm super glad I did this, y'all. Gotta get rid of the overlays, I see. Then I can go to. Oh, that's clean. All right, I like that. I like that. The next step, next step. Oh, that's clean right there. Okay. Well, we did not get through everything I wanted to do, but that's okay. I'll be practicing and doing a lot more of these. Anyways, um, I'm like, this is really, it's a lot. It's kind of a lot. I need to like have a second monitor almost. I didn't even get to check and listen to the audio from the viewer side. All right. Cool. Thanks. Peace. Set the outro video. Oh, cool. That's gonna be all. Thanks for joining, everybody. Boom, hit the outro video. All right, I gotta record a little outro and intro video. Yeah. Okay. Also, I'm paying attention to my energy. I'm like, this was kind of exhausting to do, and it's obviously just tiring because I don't know what I'm doing yet. But it's kind of it's like a lot to. I'll definitely have to minimize the number of moving parts next time. So I'll do that. And yeah, I definitely think it will help to make sure I have a couple of people that I know for certain can join me during this time because it helps to be able to talk to somebody. I feel like I'm like talking into the void. So that's hard. So I gotta figure out that piece, minimize the moving parts, simplify. Obviously, I wasn't gonna in when I actually do these live sessions, I'm not gonna try to do from idea to business in one thing. It's gonna be more like split up. So we at least got through two-ish parts, which was which problem are we solving and creating a first version of your MVP. Next time I'll try to go through turning your MVP into a full product. And then maybe the next time after that, we'll talk about how to like put the business behind it. Like, it's like my head is just has so much stuff lying around. Like, anyways, this was a lot of fun. All right. I mean, yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this. Next time I'll minimize the moving pieces and make sure I got some people here to kick it with me. I have a great time. I think this is my vibe. Just got to make sure I eat beforehand. Don't be on the live stream hungry. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and end this and then delete it. So if you were here, glad you were here and got to see it. If you didn't, it'll be next time. And it'll be actually structured. Peace.